Welcome to Looking into Cultures. I'm Cynthia Warren, and here's my co-host, Frank Ficini.
Happy spring, Cynthia.
Oh, happy spring. It is very welcome, yes. I want to ask you a question. What would you do if there was an invasion by a far greater power with an alien religion that was being pushed on you by missionaries?
I'd probably fight back as much as I could, resist, and then, if they overpowered, if there was no way out, then I would probably try to assimilate and try to adapt somehow to this new religion if I had to, if there was, no choice. But I probably would fight back first. At first,
yes. But anyway, the thing about adaptation, cultural adaptation, is one of the themes of today's show, which is religious syncretism. And syncretism is defined as cultural fusion. So when two belief systems fuse, there's another word also, conflation. Conflation means the same as fusing. So anyway, the first time I saw evidence of syncretism, I was in Cholula, Mexico, and I was taking a tour of a little church, and they told me that this statue that had been up in the eaves, a statue of a saint, one of the workmen dropped it and it broke. It was made out of clay, ceramic, and inside was another statue, which was an Aztec god.
Okay.
So do you see how it works?
Yeah.
Okay, how does it work? You're praying to one, but
you're also praying to the other one in a sense.
Or you're really praying to the other one, and you're making believe you're not that you're praying. You're making believe that you're praying to the one that has been imposed upon you. So in some cases, you're not really praying to the saint, but in other cases, there would be a kind of fusion, which would be the syncretism, in which you are praying to both at the same time.
Okay, makes sense.
When they fuse. Okay, so we're going to see a clip of syncretism in Bolivia, where I went for Holy Week 3 years ago.
Okay.
Could we see the first clip, which is of the monstrance? This is a monstrance, which holds the host, the body of Christ, and it's shaped like a sun. I had a revelation in the Cathedral of La Paz. This sun could be Inti, the Incan sun god, fused with the risen Christ, the light of the world. Amazing, huh?
Yeah. So the two religions have merged.
Yes, and so the Incan sun god becomes the risen Christ. Yes, and we have another example of syncretism in Bolivia is the Earth Mother, or in Aymara, Pachamama. Pachamama, isn't that a great word?
Oh, it is.
So she's Earth Mother. She's often represented as a woman with a basket of corn and potatoes.
Okay.
Also as a mountain. And so could we please have the clip of the Virgin and Pachamama? Okay, there she is, and she is going to fuse with the Virgin Mary.
I see, yeah.
And again, there's the mountain. Now the mountain's significance, we're going to stop at this image. This is a very important image. What do you see there?
I see the Virgin Mary, and then I see she's in the middle of the mountain, on top of the mountain, actually.
Exactly. This is the Virgin del Cerro Rico, which means the Virgin of the Rich Hill. This is in Potosi, Bolivia, and that is a silver mine. It was the richest silver mine in the world at that time. And most of the miners, of course, would have been Indians. And so in order to continue this Christianization, someone painted this painting, putting the Virgin actually in the silver mine, which was in the mountain. Yes. Could you take it off, please? So I was there in Bolivia during Holy Week when there is a pilgrimage. And I was in a town called Copacabana. What do you associate with this word, Copacabana?
Well, I think if there's a nightclub that's named Copacabana, so there's it's like a tropical place with a lot of fun and a little bit mysterious, maybe
Where
the mafia.
Where is the nightclub?
I believe it's in New York City.
Okay, it was. It's not there anymore, I believe. And also, there's a beach in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro, called Copacabana.
Okay.
But I learned that actually that beach was really named for the Virgin of Copacabana, the patron saint of Bolivia. And later, they named the beach that. So there was a shrine on the beach in Rio of the Virgin of Copacabana from Bolivia, and then later they named the beach after the Virgin. So that's how that beach got the name Copacabana.
Okay.
So to me it evokes like frivolity.
Yeah.
Yeah, frivolity, not serious
Fun.
worship,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so anyway, it is an actual place in Bolivia on Lake Titicaca. And the word derivation is from the Aymara language, which is the local language, Indian language, Kota, meaning lake,
Okay.
and Kawana, meaning view of the lake.
Okay.
So why do you think the Spanish changed the word from Copacabana to Copacabana?
They wanted it to be more representing their own language
Exactly.
than the Indians.
Right. Than the Indians. And it's another way to do what with the culture of the Indians?
It suppresses the Indian culture.
Exactly. So it's a means of control. Okay. So while on the pilgrimage, I saw syncretism in practice in Copacabana. Could we please see the clip of Copacabana?
Every Holy Week, Bolivians make a pilgrimage to the town of Copacabana on Lake Titicaca, many of them walking 100 miles from La Paz. In a carnival atmosphere, they camp by the lake shore, picnicking, taking excursions, and enjoying amusements. Here in the basilica resides a statue of Bolivia's patron saint, the Virgin of Copacabana. In solemn observance of Christ's Passion, they climb Calvario, a steep hill that rises high above the lake. Along a rugged stone staircase, they stop to pray at crosses. At the top, they continue along the ridge on a path of stone altars where candles burn. From the final precipice at the end of the way, the bright sun reflects off the placid waters like a manifestation of Inti, the Incan sun god. Descending the staircase, the pilgrims can stop at a shaman altar to perform the Aymara ritual of Chaya, making offerings to Pachamama, or Mother Earth, in syncretism equivalent to the Virgin Mary. Vendors sell replicas of money, houses, groceries, and cars to be blessed. Shamans anoint supplicants and sanctify their possessions with purifying incense smoke. And they pour libations on the earth in offering to Pachamama.
So Frank, in that clip, what evidence of the two traditions did you see, the Christianity and the Incan tradition?
Well, I saw the crosses, but then I saw the shamans, and they were burning incense, and then they were sprinkling, looked like liquor on the ground.
Yeah, right. So those are the two traditions existing
Merging.
side by side.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
What about blessings? Have you ever had anything blessed or been blessed?
I think I'm blessed every day, but as far as being blessed at church, yeah, when you go to church, when you see the different sacraments, you get blessed by the priest.
And is there anything you would like to have blessed?
The first thing that comes to mind is my dog.
And how would you have your dog blessed?
They have a blessing every once in a while of the animals, where you go to church and they collectively bless all the animals. Usually it's done out on the lawn of the green of the church.
I've seen that. It's really funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, in Bolivia on Easter Day, they bless something that, honest, I couldn't believe I walked through here and took pictures, because it's something I don't like. Cars. Could we please see the clip of the blessing of the vehicles?
On the morning of Easter, down by the shore of Lake Titicaca, owners garland their motor vehicles and shower them with flower petals in anticipation of a blessing. The friars are there with buckets of holy water and long-handled sponges. The shamans are there with censers of holy smoke, icons, bells, and whistles. Many people engage both friar and shaman to perform their rites in order to prevent breakdowns and keep them safe on the road for another year.
So that's the blessing of the vehicles. What did you notice of the two separate traditions?
Well, I noticed that the Christians were, with a bucket and spraying the water, with the, I'm not sure what the thing is called.
The long-handled sponge.
Exactly, yeah. And then the shaman were burning incense and ringing bells, and so yeah, that was totally, and blowing a whistle too. And then they were also holding the, I believe it was the Bible over the car too.
Well, actually, the shaman had an icon, and I wasn't able to see the image on the icon, but I'm presuming it was a Christian image.
Yeah.
So even though he was using the incense smoke and the whistle and the bell, I believe that the icon might have been a Christian icon. Again, an example of syncretism.
And the two religions were merging.
And how did it make you feel to see these two happening at the same time?
I thought it was great. I think they're both sharing their cultures and respecting each other, so I think it was fine.
And actually, many people actually have the blessing from both the shaman and the friar. So they're not only coexisting religions, but co-equal.
Yeah.
So they're totally syncretic. Yes. Okay. Okay. Can we have the picture of the hood, please? Okay. What does this image evoke in you?
It looks to me like the KKK, but I don't think it is.
Okay. And what is your reaction when you see an image that looks like the KKK?
It's a little scary. They're not known for, welcoming everyone. So I think that it's. Tell me more about it, because.
Well, I would say that's an understatement. That they're not known for welcoming everyone. Yes. Okay. Okay. You can take the image off. Okay. So these hoods actually are from medieval Spain.
So this is not a rally?
Absolutely not. This is in Copacabana, and they are in these hoods because they are penitents. It is Holy Week, and they're doing penance. Part of the penance is carrying those heavy floats.
So they want to kind of hide themselves.
They hide themselves in order to perform public penance.
I see.
Can we please see the clip of the cofradía?
Hemos venido para confesar la misteriosa relación entre nuestros pecados y tu pasión. Cuando luche por la paz y la verdad, la encontraré.
Medieval fraternities in Spain wore the pointed hood, or capirote, while performing penance during Holy Week. Carrying a heavy tableau was a way to atone for one's sins. Many Americans immediately associate the pointed hood with the Ku Klux Klan, but the religious fraternities of Spain predate the Klan by many centuries. While the hood keeps both religious penitent and Klansman anonymous, each has a different sort of guilt. The penitent, a guilt that he admits and repents. The Klansman, a guilt he hides and denies.
So you notice the rattle in there. The Latin word for that rattle is crotalus, which I think is a very ugly word. And do you know why they use the rattle during Holy Week, that rattle?
No, to get people's attention or somehow to,
It's in place of the bells.
Okay.
Because it's such a solemn time, they don't want to ring bells, so they use this rattle. But to me, this rattle is very ominous feeling. Did you
No, but
feel
that's
that way?
that's probably what they want to evoke.
Yes. And so one time, the first time I went to this sort of thing was in Valladolid, Spain. And a man in a hood, one of the penitents, he lunged toward me with the rattle, and I was absolutely terrified. I don't think he was meaning to lunge toward me, but
Yeah.
it appeared that way. Yes. Well, anyway, we're going to go on now to more traditional aspect. We've gotten away, we've shown the syncretism of Bolivia, and we're going to go on to talk about the more traditional observances.
Okay.
But I want to ask you first, what was your religious upbringing?
Well,
What
we went to religious classes. I think it was either Saturday or Sunday, for 1 hour a week. And I attended Catholic high school, so that was pretty much it.
Did you get a lot of biblical instruction?
No, we got some. We learned about the Stations of the Cross
Right.
and about different,
The Passion of Christ.
right, and
which is
the sacraments and what we had to do to earn each sacrament. So
okay. So you think it was a pretty serious, pretty
somewhat,
comprehensive.
Somewhat, yeah.
Oh, and you went to a Catholic high school.
I did, and we'd go to church every
Okay.
Sunday.
Okay. Well, anyway, I went to Colombia. Actually, it wasn't the same year. And I went to Holy Week in the city of Popayan. And it's supposed to be the second biggest Holy Week processions after Sevilla, Spain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I want to show you the whole procession on the night of Holy Thursday, which is the night, what happened on Holy Thursday?
That's the night that Christ was sentenced to death.
That was the night, I believe, yes, but it was also the Last Supper.
The Last Supper.
And Judas.
Judas betrayed Jesus.
Yeah, and I guess I don't know if he was actually, I think he might have been arrested on the morning of Good Friday. I don't think it was Thursday. May we see the procession from Popayan? And that last image of Mary with a sword in her
Yes,
heart,
yes.
Our Lady of Sorrows. Okay, well, I also, when I was in Popayan, I interviewed a manager of a paso. And I asked him some questions, and they had taken all of the pasos back into the church, the floats, and they were disassembling them, taking the clothes off the statues, and I interviewed this man about that. And could we please have the clip of the manager of the paso?
I carried the Virgin for 42 years, and now I'm officially retired, and I earned an award called Alcayata de Oro. That means you carry a paso for at least 35 years, and every year you were here.
And you always carried the Virgin.
Always carry the Virgin. Virgin Dolorosa, Iglesia San Francisco Church on Thursday of Holy Week. I'm Felipe. I'm the manager that in charge of the administration of the Virgin. My family has been doing the same thing since 1930. In 2 years, we will accomplish 90 years managing this paso, the Virgin. It's an image from Spain, the century 18.
How would you like to help carry a float?
I try it. I don't think I want to do it every year.
Did you
but
notice how many men were on those?
There were about, say, maybe a dozen.
No, it was 8.
Was it 8?
It was 8, but in Nicaragua it was 20. So you know these floats they're also called pasos in Spanish.
Yeah.
They were nowhere near as heavy as the ones in Nicaragua. Yes. Also, I want to know if you have ever taken part in a reenactment, or if you've seen a reenactment of Christ's Passion.
I've only seen it on TV, where some of the churches have done this at Easter time. They do a reenactment of the crucifixion of Jesus.
But I think you've seen Mel Gibson's The Passion.
The Passion of Christ?
Did you see that one?
No.
Okay, yeah. That was very, very bloody, that
Yeah.
one. But anyway, I saw a reenactment in Valladolid where a guy stood on a cross. He was on a little wedge of wood and he stood there for an hour. I don't know how he did it. But anyway, I saw, there's a lot of reenactments. And when I was in Nicaragua, we were going along, my friend and I, towards the town of León, and we were in a bus, and all of a sudden we saw a man that was hanging from a tree. And we thought somebody had been murdered, somebody had been lynched.
Yeah.
We were horrified. And then somebody told us it was a representation of Judas.
I see.
It was an effigy of Judas. So what did Judas do?
He hung himself.
Yeah, he hanged himself, but why did he hang himself?
Because he betrayed Jesus and he felt guilty, I imagine.
Exactly, right. So anyway, we don't really have anything about Judas. I mean, I don't remember hearing about Judas or seeing about Judas in my Easter traditions, but in Central America and Mexico, they explode Judas. Okay, and so we're going to see. And the other
video of that?
Yes, and the other thing in Nicaragua is that they make carpets of flowers and colored sawdust on the street.
Oh, great.
And it's very beautiful. I went there about 10 years ago or more. And can we see the clip of Nika, please? Okay, these are the carpets that they make. They make these carpets on the ground out of colored sawdust and flower petals in Nicaragua during Holy Week in a city named León. And apparently this is pretty common in Central America. And they also do reenactments of the Passion and That's Jesus, of course. And there's the Pietà. And then we're going to see Judas hanging there and then being exploded. There he goes.
Wow, they're really passionate about this holiday. I mean, and the whole, the
Well, it is the Passion.
Yeah.
So it's got to be passionate.
Exactly.
Yes. Frank, do you know what the red egg represents?
Yes, that's when Mary Magdalene had said that Christ had risen, and she was told that if that was true, then her eggs would be turning red.
That's right. They said it's no more possible for that to be true than for your eggs to turn red, and they immediately turned red. And this actually is a red egg from Russia, which is very, very appropriate because the Eastern Orthodox tradition, for them, they color their eggs red, and the egg represents the tomb. And when the egg is cracked, Christ has resurrected. So in Greek Orthodox Church, everybody has red eggs on Easter Day. I guess they're hard boiled, and they go around and they have this game where they hit each other's egg to see whose egg is the strongest, and that person has good luck during the year. But let's talk about our Easter secular traditions. What did you do on Easter?
Well, we would wake up, we'd get the Easter candy, we'd color Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And then we'd go to Grandma's house for Easter dinner. Then after Easter dinner, we would go for a walk in the woods because at the end of her street there was a very nice forest, lots of woods, and we would look for pussy willows.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, and they're in bloom through the end of March, beginning of April, and then they're gone. So.
Yes, and they feel like cat's paws.
They do. They're
I
very
remember
soft.
petting them when I was a little girl, and they use those pussy willows in Russia in place of palms on Palm Sunday because it's easy to get them, obviously, in Siberia and not get palms. Okay, could we please see the picture of little Frankie and little Cynthia at Easter? There's Frank in his best Sunday clothes. Wow. And that's Frank's family. And then we're going to see me doing a curtsy with my new Easter clothes.
Oh, very nice.
We all got new Easter clothes and we loved them. Yes, you can take it off. And so, Frank, I want to know if you're going to the Easter parade in New York City this year.
Well, let's go. You
Shall
look
we?
like you're already dressed.
I'm already dressed. Do you have a hat?
I don't. You said you...
Okay, well, I have a hat for you, and I want
Okay,
to
well.
present you this hat. We have to unveil the hat, and I've got it all ready for you. Here we go.
Oh
It's
my
got
God.
a nice pink hat then. Take a look at that. I think we'll be the brightest couple in the Easter parade. I know your head's big. It still looks cute. Tip it forward. Tip
Okay.
it forward a little. Now, get a shot of us together. I think that we will be the finest couple in the Easter parade, don't you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, well, that's all for today. We're going to see the final clip of In Your Easter Bonnet, please.
Oh, I could write a sonnet about your Easter bonnet and of the guy I'm taking to the Easter parade.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Looking into Cultures. And thank you, Frank, for accompanying me as always.
My pleasure. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Happy
and
spring.
I can't wait to stroll down Fifth Avenue with you, arm in arm.
Let's go.
And so tune in next time for another episode of Looking into Cultures.
Ciao.